to another Sales Hacks for Schools podcast. I am Nicola Lutz from No Fluff Education Sales Coach. So today we are going to give you a couple of tips just to refresh. You may be doing some of these already, worth going over, when we're going to look at open days. How can we approach open days as a sales opportunity? We know it's a marketing opportunity and branding and all that. You've got that covered, I'm sure. I want to look at it from more of a sales perspective, because we're getting all these people coming into our sales funnel for the day. Are we maximizing that? Are we getting the results we want? So first thing, what is the result that you want? You want more enrollments, but what is the actual physical next step you want them to take from an open day? Is it to go away and fill in the registration form? Can they do the registration form on the day? Is it to have a chat with your admissions people and see whether they're a fit? What is the result that you want to happen that will lead you to more enrolments? Might be just qualifying them, making sure they're the right fit generally. How are you going to do that? So just want to think of it more as a sales funnel, if you're with me, because it's such a lovely thing and it's so much effort for everybody. Let's make sure that we're getting what we need out of it and maximizing that time and effort. So before the day even starts, I'm going to assume there's lots of marketing happening. There's probably Google ad campaigns or pay-per-click, local ads, maybe whatever that is happening. Great, keep doing that. You usually need them to register to attend. Fabulous. Get the registrations in, make sure it's an easy registration and ask some information. If I were you, I would add a phone number onto that registration form because we're going to need to phone them. Which seems weird, but we're still going to need to phone them. Bear with me. Okay, so we've got our social ads campaign. People are registering from that kind of thing. Are we also calling all past inquiries? So if you're doing one for a particular year or maybe prep school, are you calling all prep inquiries from the last year that may want to come along to the open day, might not have registered yet? They may be at a different school. Doesn't matter. They may want to swap schools. Who knows? Let's call all of them. Shouldn't take you too long. Let's say you have 100 past inquiries. Hopefully you've got them organised somewhere. Let's call through them. Just so maybe everyone in admissions does this for 1 hour a day for 5 days, and you're probably covered your whole list. Have a little template ready so you can follow up saying, this is the information we spoke about the open day. Here's the link to register. It would be lovely to see you there. Okay. So call all of your past inquiries. If you've got inquirers that are still able to come to the school, they're still of the right age. Again, they may be at a different school. That doesn't stop you from approaching them and seeing if they want to come to an open day. They may not like their school. This is time. This is time for elbows out a bit because we need to fill our schools. And I'm not advocating, moving children for the sake of it, but you may be able to get hold of somebody that isn't happy and is looking to move. Anyway, contact all your old inquiries. If they're still eligible for enrolment, they're still a lead, really. So let's get in touch with them. Call all your past inquiries, divvy them up between you and get on the phone and see if they would like to come. Then send them an email with the registration form, or even better, go through the registration form with them so they get that confirmation email straight after that phone call while it's still warm. Okay, registration forms, like I said, if they're easy, fabulous. If they're not easy, you may need to help people with them. Is that happening? Okay, and then the week before, more or less, the week before the actual event, call through your registrants, those that have registered, because what we need to do is get as many coming as we can. We need to up that rate. So we need as many as we can, but also it's great intel. So we can find out what sort of thing they're looking for. We can answer questions before they even come. And I've trialed this with schools that I've been in, and we've sat and called them a week before an open day, and we've had someone say, actually, we do want to register, but we still want to come around. So they've registered for the school, not for the open day. They've registered for the school and then still come to the open day. So we've actually got leads further along the process just by this little thing. So I don't know how many you have. Divvy them up between you, admissions team. Call through them, have a lovely chat. Are you looking forward to it? What are you looking forward to seeing most? What does your child like? Is it the sports area? Is it the art area? What is it you would like to do? And make a note somewhere. Make a note so that on the day, when you pull their name up on your spreadsheet, you can see exactly what they want to go and see and what they're interested in, which not only helps conversation, it helps steer the tour. Okay, so the people show them say, oh, I know you're looking forward to seeing the art department. So we're going to go there in about 3 minutes. So we're going to go there after we've seen X, Y, and Z, and you're going to love it. And you can mingle there, and you can make sure that the teacher is then spoken to at that department rather than sport, for example, if they've no interest in it. Let's make it as relevant as possible. It also shows care. It shows that we're listening to them. So I would highly recommend that. Quite often they come up with questions that we wouldn't have known that they had otherwise, and that they might not have had answered on the day, especially if they're being led around by sixth formers, for example. They may not know the answers to some of those questions. So calling them beforehand creates a great rapport, makes them feel valued and welcome. They're more likely to turn up, and you can steer the tour in a more effective way. Also, great opportunity to say, do you know anyone else that might be interested in coming? Any other families that might be interested in coming along to our open day? So you may be able to get a few more through the door, which is great. Okay. And also before the event, and I'm sure I don't need to say this, but people showing the families around need to be trained in how to do that. It's not literally just, here is the school. We want some questions asked. So we want to qualify, to use the sales, so we want to qualify those people. So you know, have they looked at other schools? What's making them come today? What are their motivations for looking around our school? What are they looking for? What are they worried about? Get these questions going, and then after the tour, the people doing the tour need to jot those down somewhere. So do they have tablets, for example, with the spreadsheet on? Can they make some quick notes? Give them some questions to ask if they're not going to be sure, and then things that you want. So make it really easy for whoever is leading the tours can capture that information. Okay, you know, make sure that they know if you've gathered any information before, like we want to look around the art department, make sure whoever leading the tour knows that as well, of course. Okay, so on the day you have all your people doing the tours, which is great. There's usually a speech from the head, which is fantastic. There's usually goodie bags, best part of any day, right? Goodie bags are fabulous. I'm going to say don't give them the goodie bags until after, okay? They have to kind of earn their goodie bags, right? And I know it's full of lovely stuff and pens and teddies and things, but let them have it afterwards. First of all, we don't want them dragging them around. We don't want them distracted by the goodie bag. Personally, I would get the goodie bags on a table behind my admissions team. So they have to speak to the admissions team before they get the goodie bag. Okay, they can all have one. We're not going to force them to do anything, but I want the whole admissions team there, and possibly a few standing admissions team, marketing, we're all on hand. And our main aim is to either get them to fill in the registration form for the school if they've loved it, or to book a chat with an admissions person to go through the ins and outs of the school and answer questions. One of those two things. Now, quite often on an open day, they don't want to fill in the registration form for the school. It's a bit of an unwieldy form. So what I would recommend is one call to action. We want every single family that visits to have a chat with an admissions person booked in for after the event. So if you don't use an appointment setting system, I'd highly recommend Calendly, which I use, and just get your team on it and they book a call in, just a 10-15 minute call. What did you think of the open day? How did it go? What did they like? What are your worries? What are your questions? And would you like to register? Frankly, is what we're aiming for. I can help you with the registration form if you'd like to go through it. And on our spreadsheet of attendees, we have tick, have they booked a follow-up appointment or not with admissions? Everyone that has, that's fine. Everyone that hasn't, they're going to get a call after the event to see if they would like to have some help and some assistance with registering. And then once we know that, they can get a goodie bag. So it's like, have you booked in to have a chat with an admissions person next week or the week after? Fabulous. They don't have to say yes. We're not forcing anyone. They can still have the goodie bag, but they can't have the goodie bag without that question being asked. Does that make sense? And even if they leave early, they're not staying for the speech or whatever it might be, they can still have the goodie bag, but we want that everywhere. I would also be putting QR codes to book that call onto any paper that they get when they enter. So they might, for example, have a little map of the school or something like that. Put a QR code so that they can book an appointment, and then you should be able to have some automated software that ticks a box of whether they've done. That's pretty easy to do. It can be done manually from a list with your appointment setting software like Calendly, and then they can just be manually ticked off, okay? But have that QR code on all of the stuff that they're given, because all roads lead to them talking to you, because you can convert them better with a chat, and it's also nicer. Okay, so no goodie bags till the end. I'm being very strict here, and I know that goes against the grain a bit, but I'm thinking that's the way to go. I would also have an admissions area, if at all possible, where they can chat to prospective families on the day. And while you're on those phone calls before the day, you can even book these in, a bit like a time. Would you like 10:15 or 10:30 to chat with our admissions team? And then you make sure they've got time to get around the tour and get back to that. But having a table where admissions are able to chat to people with their questions, you can fill in the registration forms then and there, if you like. I would recommend that could happen. See what your registration form is like. Okay, and then after the event itself, who knew there was so much to these things? So after the event itself, collate all your information. Here is the list of attendees. These people showed up, these people didn't. Those that showed up, you've either got a tick next to them saying that they have booked an appointment with an admissions person, or a cross, they don't want to, it is not suitable for them. I would still probably call them and try and find out if we haven't already, or empty is they need to book an appointment. And we're going to call everyone that hasn't booked an appointment and try and get them to book an appointment. We're going to ask them what they thought of the school. We're going to ask them for feedback, see if they've got any questions, and we're going to try and talk to them about enrolling and going on that first step, which is the registration form. But they might have questions first, which is only right and proper. Let's deal with those. It's also a great way of gathering feedback, excuse me, seeing if they've got any friends that would like to come, and all sorts of opportunities there. But hitting those phones may be uncomfortable, but it's a lovely thing to do. These are very, very engaged leads. It's not cold calling for double glazing, so we're okay. It's a lovely thing to do. And whenever I've done it with schools, it's just been so nice and so appreciated. And it's going to get you that step ahead of those other schools that they're going to see. So let's make sure we know our main aim is to get them on those calls and filling in those registration forms. So plan that time in around your open day. I know it's a big hubbub, it's lovely. You've got a lot going on that open day, but don't forget the sales aspect, because the point of the open day is to encourage people to enroll. So let's help them along that journey. I hope that has helped. Just a few sales hacks for open days for you. And good luck with them. I know they're a lot of work and highly enjoyable. So good luck with them all.